The word occult actually means hidden. It was called that because, you know, the Catholics and all the Christian types got really upset about people practicing medicine and all that sort of jazz and drove it all underground. So the word occult, when you talk about occult this or that sounds occult, actually means that sounds hidden. Perhaps it could also be considered sort of a relative of the word subversive. The occult sections of the city are the hidden sections. They're the alleyways. They're the areas where people just don't go. And more than not going, they want to pretend that those areas don't even exist. The homeless people on the streets who look at you and they look hungry and they don't even ask for money anymore. Instead, they just kind of watch you. And you wonder what happens to all the people who go missing every year. Is it true that man is the only species on the planet, the only dominant species without predators? Or are there predators that exist within these realms that we don't know about? We call them by different names. Sure, some are called, well, criminals, prisoners, serial killers, lots of different names for these predators that prey on man. But it makes you wonder sometimes if there's not something else. Maybe in the dark underside of the cities, that's where the creatures from the forests of yesterday now hide. The occult sections of the city. Graffiti is very telling. The first thing that's going to happen is I'm in a low light circumstance in here. So we got to change our optics up. When I'm in low light, I like to use yellow lenses. Filters out the blue light, increases contrast. This is the advantage of using the proper gear for the proper job. Fuck, it's cold in here. Another thing too, telltale supernatural sign, is temperature drop. And I don't mean like it's kind of cool, I mean it's cold in here. Like it is really cold in here. So I still haven't seen anything definitive though. I've seen a couple of shoes. I've got a couple of you know, bad feeling. I ain't gonna cut it in my world though. And that child's shoe outside, that was that's a Chinese make, probably bought within the last 5 years. And this house here, I mean, you got architectural qualities on the ceiling here. This house has been here for a long time, long enough that the Heritage Society has got stuff to do with it. Now, your next big telltale sign in cult activity in abandoned houses or in supernatural activity is, surprisingly enough, graffiti. Because graffiti matters. These people thought whatever they had to say, sure, there's going to be some kids here. I just brightened this whole house right up. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, we got, looks like a squat in the kitchen. We got a mattress. And I'm real leery of mattresses that are empty. Because everything else in this room has got shit piled on it except for that mattress. Maybe one pillow and a piece of dilapidated board. Which means that mattress is used. This here, that isn't broken, that's cut. Which means that whatever's in the basement is trying to get up and tried to come up through the basement, through the roof, produce some heat. Lit the walls on fire, but the thing didn't burn. Gotta bear in mind this. Got to bear in mind this house is all wood construction. I mean, there's no insulation on the inside walls. If you were to show a fireman that, he'd tell you there's absolutely no reason why that didn't just take the whole house. So it's not the question of why did it start burning, the question is why did it stop. And circles. Makes you dangerous. You never, ever, ever, ever go through any kind of circles or vertomatrix markings on the ground. You understand that something as simple as this here, that's a defined perimeter, okay? We got edge there that he's putting around. We got a rug in the middle. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean that it doesn't have some kind of significance to somebody. So it's best to avoid markings on ground, any kind of power circles, runes, anything like that. And again, most of the best things are hidden in plain view. Got some children's toys on the ground. And a great big fucking shoe.
Yeah.
We're not going down there. This is an initial recce only. When in doubt, stay in the light. And we got a twin landing here. This place would be a CQB nightmare. That's a nice touch. I like the flowers. Divination. Divination is a lot more useful to the WOG. Reason why divination is useful is because the whole purpose of divination would mean to divine, to find, to locate, to secure information, that kind of a thing. That's what divination's all about. Now, there's many ways of using divination. Some people use divining rods. You've probably heard of those. Or, you know, the fork stick, and they use it to find water. There's also people who use runes, tarot cards, pendulums, things like that, to get answers to questions and to learn information. Now, you would think this would be the easiest way to prove the existence of something beyond self, right? Because you just have ask, you know, double-blind questions where the guy doesn't know the answer, so obviously the cards can't give him the answer. But the problem with a lot of divination is very, very vague and open to a lot of interpretations. The only kind of divination that I know of that is not open to interpretation are the guys who can locate water with the divining rods and things like that. And I know people who can do it. They're amazingly accurate. And you can, this is called dowsing, by the way, when you do all that. So technically that is a form of divination. That is divining information, but it's done through dowsing. So it's not really the same thing. But when you're looking at things like the pendulum that you swing back and forth and ask questions, if it's circular, it's no. If it's this way, it's yes or maybe or whatever. There's all sorts of different ways of doing it, okay? And then that gives you your information back. Or tarot cards, that's a form of divination. What's happening with me? Where's my future going to go? Who's in charge of my life? Because it sure shit isn't me.